Good morning. Hey, everybody. Wow. Interesting. I got the song. I woke up with this song in my head this morning, Get Into It by Doja Cat. We'll get into it. Let me clear the field. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Good morning. Hello. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday morning. Thank you so much for being with me this beautiful day. I am so grateful to be here. Oh, my throat shakalaka. My throat shaka. They're attacking my throat shaka. Yeah, you guys, we're gonna try to get a higher perspective of CERN this morning. Do you guys know about 1800s? Spirit says yes. Let's get into it. Good morning, everybody. I'm just gonna wait for more people to come in. Hello, my name is Patience. I am a spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms. Well, let me just fix this. I feel like this is kind of weird right now. There we go. That's better. I got a little tickle on my face. Ooh, they're attacking my throat. Holy Divine Spirit, please remove any projections being thrown at my throat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Make sure you're hitting that like button as you come in so people can find us and they can get a higher perspective of a linear view. My name is Patience. I am your very own, very favorite spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms. We are a little late today. Actually, maybe we're not late today. Maybe we're right on time. I don't know. I just go with the flow. Yeah, you made it. I love you too. Thanks, LOL. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. Yes, come on in. Let's get a higher perspective of CERN, you guys, right? With this gift, I'm like, I want to know the things that we don't know. You know? You know? I want to know what we don't know, you know? You look like a star. Are you already one? Your face says you are. Oh, thanks, Johnny. I am from the stars, as we all are, on a journey of human imperfection. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful. So, my name is Patience. I am the host of Spirit News on all major platforms. If you would like to follow any of our socials or go to any of the platforms that we host Spirit News on, you can find those all through the link tree through the bio for YouTube and for TikTok. We'd absolutely love to have you. The podcast is more of a structured, segmented episode type of podcast format. These platforms for with the lives, we go live every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday. Ooh, they're really hitting my throat. You can't stop God's messages. We're here every weekend, every Saturday, Sunday. We do a celebrity read, and then we'll do either true crime or the last inanimate object we did was the Titanic. And so I'm not really sure like how this will unfold. I have no idea, and I'm gonna do my best to work with my spirit team, to kind of like let it unfold and follow the clues and the breadcrumbs for information, and we can ask questions, and we can try to get a higher perspective of what CERN is exactly, because I'll tell you what they say online, and the thing is that they could tell us anything, and what do we know about physics to that level? We're just you know bystanders of what they create. But it kind of reminds me of my memories of Atlantis. And from what I have remembered is that in that there was a chunk of time towards the end of Atlantis and Lemuria where they were experimenting with energy and they were using crystals and stuff. It's was done in a different way, but the intention felt the same. Just trying to, it started with trying to understand, where the energy comes from and how to, harness it and how to utilize it. And then over time, as cycles, went through, the intention started to change and it started to become less about understanding and more about control. And so it kind of feels like the same energy, but I don't know in what capacity. So I just wanted to see. I was just very curious, and I don't know if I'm going to get anything. If I don't, it's an experiment for us. This is an energy experiment for us to come together, and for those who resonate or who are interested, who are drawn to this message, to ask questions and to ask questions in this way that's never been done before, because we haven't had, we're not all now starting to become activated with our spiritual abilities, and all of us are going to be on different levels. And I'm happy to have, gotten to this certain level. I'm never done. It's never done. I hope to develop more, enhance these abilities more, but I'm really grateful to be able to be of service and use them for good to find out things we don't understand. So, did you say CERN? I learned it's centered in a town named Hell. Really? Well, let me spiritual abilities, electromagnetic detection. We all have an electromagnetic field. That's what our soul is. It's inside of this meat suit, and so the meat suit can often diminish the ability to read the information that gets inside of the field that we are connected to, because we're connected to a field. We all are to the same field, so we all have access to the same information. But we've been told that it's demonic to have psychic abilities, or not everyone can have psychic abilities, and that's not true. So everybody has psychic abilities. Just gonna make my pony higher. Okay, so let's get into, so I got a song. I got the Doja song, Get Into It. I woke up with that in my head, and we'll do that in a minute, but I want to go over exactly what CERN is. So publicly what they say CERN is the European Organization for Nuclear Research, a world-renowned physics research center that probes the fundamental structure of the universe using the world's most powerful particle accelerators and detectors. It is located in Franco-Swiss border near Geneva and is a prime example of international scientific collaboration. So, what is the mission of CERN? Why does it even exist? I mean, the pictures of the physical Hadron Collider is like, it literally looks like a sci-fi movie. Their goal is the mission is to advance the boundaries of human knowledge, which is so masculine. It's just so masculine. You want to push the boundaries of human knowledge, but you don't want to accept that psychic abilities are part of science. Like, you could know the secrets of the universe if you're responsible enough with your spiritual abilities, and then you don't want to use them for control. So it's very interesting that we would go through all this trouble to understand the universe when we could have just, sat down and talked to God. Very interesting to start off. You look like Suno from EpiPen. I don't know what that is, but thank you. Is ringing in the ears an example? Yeah, absolutely. I get ringing in the ears all the time, and the ringing in the ears could be your brain's way or your body's way of interpreting a certain frequency or vibration. And as you become more enlightened and more awakened, and you clear your field and you heal more, you can tune into it more greatly. And Spirit always says the more responsible you are with your own healing, the greater responsibility you'll be given because with great power comes great responsibility. If everybody woke up with their abilities activated or knowing how to use their abilities, there'd be a lot of souls that would be too immature to be responsible with that, because with spiritual abilities, everyone discerns or interprets non-physical information differently, but you could use it to read people against their will, or control people emotionally, or there's always a good and bad side of everything, right? And of people, there's good and bad people who are all on different journeys and different levels of consciousness. I'm sorry, Candace, I'm not that kind of psychic. How to ask universe about which career path to choose? That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. You can start by sitting in silence and having that intention when you sit down. You can start by asking the question and inviting help from your spirit team to give you those answers that you're searching for, or the guidance. They don't give you answers. They kind of like give you little breadcrumbs for you to find it on your own. Like if you're having trouble seeing what you're good at, or what your special abilities are for you. Those are things you ask your spirit team, because they have to do with your soul blueprint. And when we incarnate here, we get the veil of forgetting, so that way we can have the enjoyment of finding the clues and following the clues of what we came here, what we incarnated here to do, a soul mission. And your soul mission will be directly linked to, what brings you passion, what brings you joy, what sparks your curiosity. If you're doing something for money, if your career path is associated with strictly making money, then you've already, lost a little bit of the path that you're supposed to be on. So, your spirit team can help you with that. I would definitely ask them, sit in silence, ask the question, and then wait. Wait for the answers. The answers never come quickly. They can if you're in, they can if you're in a very clear field and you've done a lot of healing, but usually it takes a few days. Give it a few days, and then you can start to see a pattern. The universe will send you patterns. You might start noticing the same numbers, and then you look up the numbers, and then you start noticing the numbers are talking about something very specific. And it's not like that exactly, but I'm just giving an example. We're going to start talking about CERN. So I was saying that CERN's primary mission is to advance the boundaries of human knowledge, on a very masculine way, in a very physical way. If you want to know knowledge, it's best to sit down in silence and ask your spirit team to help you understand things you don't understand. At least from my perspective and from my point of view and my experience. It also says performing world-class research in fundamental physics, providing unique particle accelerator facilities to researchers, uniting people from across the globe to push the frontiers of science and technology. Spirit said Sari and Kaylin so far. Palm, handprints, face in 1800s. The research program at CERN covers topics from the standard model to supersymmetry, antimatter, and cosmic rays. A major achievement was the discovery of Higgs boson in 2012, which confirmed a key piece of standard model of particle physics. And also, this CERN has been around since 1954, which is also very interesting. Because fantastical creatures, Spirit said. It says founded September 29th, 1954. The founders were a bunch of countries: Switzerland, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Sweden, Greece, Norway, Denmark, Belgium, Yugoslavia. So a bunch of countries came together
In the building.
in the building. Council president is Costas Fountas. Countess Fountas. And the address is in Geneva, Switzerland. Okay. But let's continue because there's a lot of things. Hey. Oh, it took away my, that's okay. Um, so the research focus is research ranges from nuclear physics to high energy physics, including the study of the fundamental constitutes of matter and the forces acting between them. The discovery of the Higgs boson, I don't know if I'm saying that right, in 2012, a monumental achievement that completed the standard model of particle physics. The invention of the World Wide Web in 1989 by Tim Berners-Lee to facilitate information sharing among researchers. Discoveries of the W and Z bosons, which earned scientists a Nobel Prize in 1984. Accelerators boost beams of particles to high energies and near the speed of light. The particles are then made to collide with each other or with stationary targets, and then they record and analyze the results. The collisions are to give insights into the fundamental laws of nature. So, let's see. What are the controversies associated with CERN? Thank you for answering the last question. How do I know if I have a spiritual team? Everybody has a spiritual team. God assigns a spirit family for you that you incarnate with over and over again, or as many times as you want. And they will always be, you guys will always interchange yourselves for everyone's incarnations. And so you'll have three specific ones that are assigned to you. You'll have a guardian angel, and then you'll have two other spirit guides. One's for the past, one's for the future, and you're for the present. And it's kind of like the Trinity. It represents just the cycle of life to encompass all varieties of the experience. Do they have to just do, those things associated with past, present, future? No, but it's just to give them like a structure for your understanding.
Please listen now.
Please listen now. Do you think CERN PR team is honest about their intentions? If I had to trust my gut instinct, no. A close friend works at Fermilab. They were first particle accelerators. Girlfriend works there taking care of the buffalo. I don't think they're completely honest. And the reason why I think that is because why would they be? They can't disclose exactly their true intentions, but I do get a lot of intuitive visions and hits about a scientific building or lab where certain experiments go on, especially about energy. And we have to remember that even our own government, Project Paperclip, they had Project Paperclip where they took, after the war, they took all of the Nazi scientists and they brought them over to the United States to share what they were learning about their fringe science that they were working on. So we have to remember that we're only told, what is enough for us to like be okay with things, Any signs of spiritual awakening? What does it mean if you continuously dream about someone? I don't know. That could mean a lot of things. It could be CERN. I won't talk about that now, Emerald, but if you want to email me, we can discuss a variety of reasons why you could be dreaming about someone. Okay. And so some of the controversies behind CERN is microscopic black holes. people are concerned that it could grow bigger. It could be something that's not controllable, that maybe starts off small, but not being able to, understand the consequences of trying to play God, essentially, will that create something that's uncontrollable? Okay. And then strangelets, another theoretical fear is the creation of hypothetical particles called stranglets, which it could be strangelets or stranglets, I'm not sure, which, if stable, could theoretically convert all normal matter into strange matter in a runaway reaction, turning Earth into a lifeless lump. This has been dismissed by scientific community as highly unlikely, as strangelets never been observed in nature. And even if they existed, they would be unstable at the high energies of the LHC. But see, that's the thing. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen when you're messing with things that
Method.
method when you're messing with things you don't understand the method for, that were created from an omnipotent creator that you don't understand. In trying to understand something physically in a very masculine way, you could accidentally create something that you didn't know was possible as a consequence. My email is patiencewithspirit@gmail.com. Joke apart. Okay, then tell me, how can I see existence, and tell me what is
My
existence.
house.
My house. Spirit said my house. Your existence is God's house. Other dimensions, vacuum decay. Some fringe theories include fears that the LHC could open portals to other dimensions, trigger a vacuum decay event that would wipe out the universe or shift the world into an alternate timeline. These are considered science fiction by the vast majority of physicists. But the thing is that in Atlantis, that's exactly what happened. From what I remember, from what I have gathered, they were messing around. What started as curiosity over time and through, intentions changing, became fringe experiments where they were trying to control the outcome of things. They realized that through the crystal power and the crystal grids, that they could control weather, that they could control people's emotions, that they could control, certain things that are related to energy. And they started to mess with that, and they started to, over time, it didn't start as wanting control, it started as curiosity. But then over time,
Fallen.
fallen, spirit just said fallen, over time, fallen souls that started to get more in their ego wanted to use the crystal energy grids and the crystal power as a way to control people, and they were doing unethical experiments, and they needed to have more power, and so they were using humans, they were using earth crystals, and they were collapsing time, and they say that's how the Bermuda Triangle got created, and it created a dimensional shift, and
The
then
living room.
and then the flood had to happen, because it's like, well, we can't, God was like, well, I can't create when you guys already run amok, and you already, there's no way of fixing this, we have to start over, kind of thing. So got wiped out. Okay. Atlantis crystal overuse leading to destruction. Was Atlantis destroyed, or did their work cause a catastrophe? It was both. There were good and bad factions of Atlantis. There were the good people that were trying to utilize crystal power as a way for healing, and they were more on the side of going in within and understanding earth and nature from within, from God's point of view, and working together with the elements and stuff like that. And then there was the other faction where they broke off from the more ethical group, and they were very impatient, and they were very impulsive, and they wanted it now, and they got kind of thirsty. They got kind of thirsty for control, because their cycles were changing, and there was, even Atlantis went through a golden age, and then it came out of the golden age and it started to descend. Spirits had fallen. And so it's nothing new, is nothing here is new. You know, everything has been done before. And so CERN is just a copycat or a reflection of that time. Okay. So, oh, thank you. Thank you for asking the question. Do humans are really good for Earth? Yes, absolutely. Humans are good for Earth. Yeah. Humans are a curse of Earth. In my timeline, in my perspective, you know, I'm with the faction that was good, that wanted to team up with Earth and her energy and collaborate and use the knowledge from within to help Earth flourish, to help work together with Earth as a collaboration instead of trying to control her. And so there's still that faction and the other faction that are incarnating, that are still working out wounds from that time, and they're mirroring those wounds from that time. So unfortunately, I missed the monitoring spirits part and went to another video. You're playing music part. Oh, I didn't do the song yet, so don't worry. Mother Earth does love us. She wants us to overcome these past traumas so we can move forward, because she's shifting her consciousness. She wants us to come with her because it's going to be a new earth, or it is a new earth. And that's why we're talking about these things and trying to understand it from a higher perspective, from what we can't see or what's hidden from us. So, some critics have argued that scientific community at CERN haven't been fully transparent about the potential risks, or that they adopted a leave it to the experts attitude. The safety reports issued by independent scientific groups have concluded multiple times that the experiments pose no conceivable threat, noting that cosmic rays with far higher energies than those produced at the LHC routinely hit Earth's atmosphere without hazardous consequences. However, the complexity of the science can lead to public misunderstanding, which conspiracy theorists exploit. But on the other hand, this has never been done before. So how can you say that you know what the implications are or the consequences are, and that they're not anything we should worry about, when you don't know what they are? When every time you do it, it's an experiment. Every time you do it, it's an unknown experiment. Maybe sure, you've done it enough times for certain things where you know that there's no, major consequence, but you don't know what the ripple effect is. You don't know what it's affecting on a energetic scale. Just because you can't see the effects of it doesn't mean, like physically, doesn't mean it's not affecting something somewhere. So that's strange that they're very, like, it's very masculine. It's very like cut and dry. We said it doesn't do anything because we don't see a physical change, so therefore don't have to worry about it. That's just silly. That's just silly. Emerald Citrine, I love all your questions. I'm really grateful for them, but they are a little distracting for the topic. So any questions you have, if you want my perspective, I'm very grateful. You can email me them and I'd be happy to share my perspective. So other issues. Oh my gosh, listen to this. Like any large institution, CERN has faced internal issues such as the suspension of a physicist for sexism in 2018. I wouldn't put it past them, honestly. While not a controversy, in the same vein as the doomsday fears, the immense cost of such a massive multi-billion-dollar project can spark debate over resource allocation in science. Yeah, who's paying for this? Who's paying for this? And why are we paying for it? Why are they so obsessed with trying to figure out nature? Like, why do we have to know how nature happens? Why do we have to pay billions of dollars for that, when we could just sit in silence and we could meditate and we could go ask God, and God will show you how they create nature. It's very masculine. This is a very masculine concept. Okay, let me ask another question. What are some of the conspiracy theories surrounding CERN? My story needs to be told, Spirit says. Robin! Hello! Good morning. Thank you, Lioness of Gaia. Thank you. Right? I mean, why do we have to know everything? That's very masculine. We made an episode 19 on Spirit News called The Rise of the Divine Feminine, where Spirit gives us a channeled message about the implications of being too much in your masculine energy and how this is a time to integrate more of the female of the feminine of the divine feminine energy, because divine feminine energy, it's just a knowing and it's a trusting that you don't need to know like all of the logical details, like a linear timeline of how the things happen, but that things are magical, and every creation is a miracle, and you don't need to psychoanalyze or deduct or deduce or scientifically reduce that to something that you can understand. The understanding of it is that it is a miracle, and it's here for our enjoyment, for our experience as the variety of earth. Okay? So when you when you take a very masculine scientific approach without the feminine, it looks like CERN, putting billions of dollars. You know how much of that money could go to world hunger, or could go to something far more important that would save lives, except we want to put it all into something so we can understand the laws of nature. But to what end? Once you understand the laws of nature, hypothetically, then what? And then what? What's the goal? What's the end game? What are you trying to get out of this? The only reason you'd want to know something so deeply is to control it, or to replicate it, or to recreate it. And who knows what all the things are that they've discovered that they're not telling us from 1954 to now. That's over 70 years of experiments, of energy experiments. Okay, so so that was some of the controversy, some of the conspiracy theories, which we're learning can absolutely be true. Opening portals and dimensions. Widespread belief is that the Large Hadron Collider is designed to open a portal to another dimension, a parallel universe, or even hell. Theorists often claim this could allow malevolent entities such as demons or interdimensional beings to enter our world. This is often tied to the Mandela effect theory, which posits that shifts in collective memory are evidence of CERN moving the world into alternate timelines. Now, I will say for this, could it be a portal? Absolutely, sure. But there's lots of portals. When you create an altar, that's a portal. When you decide to be manipulative, that's a portal. When you pray, that's a portal. So portal can be very like officer said on it. Portal can be very limiting, or I don't know how to say it. Like, anything could be a portal. Okay, you don't need the Hadron Collider to create a portal. Now, a parallel universe or another dimension, okay, now it's like, okay. Your voice ASMR, oh, thank you. That's so funny, because I hate hearing my own voice, so that's so funny. Spirit said on it, and man, when I hear on it, I think of Aubrey Marcus, because he has the supplement company called On It. I don't know why that's important, but I'm bound to the house, Spirit says. And so opening portals and dimensions. Okay, and then the Mandela effect, which we experience the Mandela effect all the time. Could CERN be, I don't know, we're gonna ask Spirit, could CERN be the reason why we experience it? I don't know. I feel like the Mandela effect is something that we've just brought our awareness to, but I think it's something that happens all the time when we shift as an individual and as a collective. I know that every decision you make will shift a timeline you're on. And we've talked about timeline jumping, and an easy way to say it is every choice you make will be a timeline jump. So, especially if it's good. So, if you're on your ascension path and you are clearing your field and you're deciding every time you decide to journal, meditate, exercise, jump, jump, jump. Every time you act of kindness, every time you rest, every time you fast, jump, jump, jump. Every time you decide to be of service, jump. And then every time you decide to manipulate, jump back, and so you're constantly jumping into different timelines based on your decisions, and every timeline will be slightly different. And sometimes you'll pick up on that. Is that associated with CERN? From what I learned from my spirit team, no. It doesn't have to be just because of CERN. You do that anyway. Your voice is opening a portal for me right now. Those ritual opening ceremonies were ridiculous. Well, let's talk about that because it does say right here that um, life. So it says life. Yeah, life will time jump you based on your decisions. It says black holes, vacuum decay, satanic rituals, and symbolism. This theory stems largely from a video hoax created by students that depicted and staged a mock human sacrifice ritual in front of a statue on certain grounds. The statue in question is a gift from the Indian government and depicts the Hindu deity Shiva in this in his Nataraja form, a metaphor for the cosmic dance of creation and destruction that parallels the cosmic dance of subatomic particles studied at CERN. Conspiracy theorists, however, interpret the statue and the mock ritual as proof of devil worship or cult activity. Well, right away, right off the bat, who would allow such an elaborate hoax? Why would CERN allow a joke of a video? Like, if it was a joke, why let it play out? Why allow them to be on the property to I mean, it was an elaborate video. If you guys haven't seen the video for that, I would definitely recommend it. It takes planning, it takes the gathering of people, it takes ritual knowledge for everyone to be doing the same thing. It takes a wide range of organizational parts to put it together, and then to film it and to do it specifically in front of CERN. I don't know. I think that's weird. And even if it was a hoax on a physical level, what we're learning about energy is that non-physical energy or lower astral entities can send you intrusive thoughts that you think are your own. So if these students are all in a susceptible place where they have unhealed wounds, those are portals for lower astral entities to come in and give intrusive thought that they'll think is their own. And so if the lower astral entities needed some additional energetic power, they would send intrusive thought to all of the students that would be associated with the video, and they would think, oh, we have a great idea, it'll be so funny, and we'll do this. And so either way, whether it's on a astral level or physical level, it's strange that it would be done, that it would even be done. Okay, why would you go hoax a satanic ritual of a mock human sacrifice? That's not what is funny about that. Why is that funny? I don't think that's funny at all. Okay. The Shiva ritual was also strange. Why is there a statue of Shiva there anyway? Well, it says that the Hindu deity Shiva is a meta in the Nataraja form is a metaphor for the cosmic dance of creation and destruction, which, okay, we get because this is a dualistic universe, and through chaos and destruction can come creation. Sometimes you have to break things down, or on a micro scale on your own level. Sometimes you have to go through crazy times to be rebuilt or to be reborn or rebirthed. So, okay, we get the metaphor, but I'm really concerned about why it would be funny to do a mock human sacrifice. Like, what is funny about that? And we know that they do a there's a video of a mock human sacrifice, or I don't know if it's mock, at Bohemian Grove. There's a secret video of that. So it's very interesting that it would be said that it was a joke, a hoax. When it wasn't a hoax, it was actually created. So that's very strange. Spirit said Jose. Ties to secret societies and elites. Some theories suggest that CERN is a project run by a global cabal or secret society with a hidden agenda beyond scientific research, using the facility for dark universe manipulating purposes and causing natural disasters. Didn't I say that the Atlantean times they can control weather? And so it's very interesting that chronological order. Yeah, it's very interesting that now the CERN is recreating it could be recreating natural disasters just like Atlantis. Okay. History is repeating itself. Okay. What about the Gothard Tunnel opening ceremony? I think in past life you were an owl, spiritually speaking. Oh, thank you. That Shiva ritual. Oh, my bad. There was a tunnel in Europe that went through a mountain that I may have mixed up. It was opening for that and was like a satanic parade. Might be unrelated to CERN, probably. I don't know. I don't think any ritual that we see or that they do, I think they're all related. I love you, Americans. Can you read my Mexican fate? You're not confused. That was TJE official one. Strange there were several. Yes, strange there were several. So those are just some controversies and conspiracy theories that are, take a left, soon Spirit says, that are coming forward or that are out there about CERN. So I don't know what we'll get, and I'm just curious, and I'm just having, oh, you're flagged for misinformation. Oh no. Your live is flagged for misinformation. Repeated violations could result. Oh, I'm not doing misinformation. I was just reading the Google. Oh my gosh. I wasn't doing misinformation. The decision, my live does not contain the content mentioned in the notice. There we go. Thank you for your feedback. We'll use it. I don't know why. No, she's not. She's asking questions. Stop harassing her about misinformation. It's on TikTok. Yeah, it's on TikTok. Oh, clearly they don't. This is for entertainment purposes only. I can't prove any of this. This is just misinformation. Being flagged is a compliment. You're over the mark. Oh, thank you. But I don't want to be flagged. Darkness is afraid because discover darkness afraid because discover stain. We're doing the word tiles. Torture. What? This is for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that for legal reasons. Darkness afraid because discover stain. Torture. Copy. I told you, copy. Because they're copying ancient things from Atlantis. They're just repeating history. Oh, my live access was removed. My live access was removed. It says I violated community guidelines. Your access to live across all channels, including multi-guest, will be restricted on 11/19 till 11/19. Oh, that's so sad. What this means, misinformation. All right. Do you agree with the decision? No, I don't. My life does not contain the content mentioned in the notice. This restriction, yeah. Appeal. My life does not contain the content mentioned in the notice. Submit. All right. Well, TikTok believes that I'm spreading misinformation, so that's okay. No problem. Not a big deal. I'll turn that one off. So you didn't, and I'm watching you right now. Keep going. Thank you. TikTok is a little stricter than YouTube, I guess, or somebody flagged my thing, so it's okay. Some lame dark spirit has reported you, and now they're taking it very seriously. They always do that for the wrong ones. That's messed up. Oh, yeah, that's okay, guys. At least I have YouTube. All right, no big deal. Oh, look, copy theory. Darkness afraid because discover stain, torture, copy theory. Uh, seeds. And I see treasure. Seeds. Hostile. We don't want to speak. They don't want us to speak. Hostile dance. Hostile dance. Anguish. Damn. The heck? Control. Control. Kingdom. Wow. Horror. What the hell? Look at this. Oh, I gotcha. LOL, I think you're right. Spirit's been giving me messages about how I have to be careful about the words I say because they get activated by the AI, and that's what triggers the flagging. You know, Spirit gave me a lot of warnings about that, so thank you for that reminder. I wasn't listening. You're absolutely right. I do have to be careful about what I say, about how I say it. Thank you. Heard. Heard. Message heard. Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'll take the hit because that was my fault. I did say, right when I said, you know, satanic smituals, I have to get used to it. So it says, so I was grabbing from the word tiles, and it says darkness afraid because the discovery of the stains of torture, where they copied theories from star seeds, or they copy star seeds, or they copied some kind of theory, um, creating a hostile dance of anguish to control the kingdom through horror, creating horrors. So I read a dream recently that I wrote down in my notes. 11, thank you. And it had Elon Musk in it, and I'm not saying Elon Musk is doing this. I just think that was somebody who's like scientific, that has a lot of money, so it could be somebody like that, or that it's like an archetype or a representation of what I'm about to say. But in the dream, he was doing unethical experiments with energy, and he discovered a way to transfer people's energy, or to become astral and, you know, spy on people and switch with people, switch souls with people against their will and stuff. I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but it's kind of like reminiscent of the same feeling that it gives, you know, doing unethical experiments, trying to control energy. It's literally, it says copy. It's literally a copy of of Atlantis, just in a different, you know, different time. It's just the same cycle. Okay, trying to control God's kingdom, trying to control trying to be God, honestly, trying to be God. Okay, they made a mistake. And pray in reverse, they made a mistake. And they're scared now, apparently. Apparently, they're scared now. Because you just can't do that. You want to understand the universe? Go within. Sit down in silence and stop trying to control the outcome of everything. Okay? So let's see. Holy Divine Spirit, thank you so much. Oh, that took me a long time to get into this. I'm sorry, but and I got flagged, so that's an adventure. So darkness is afraid because they're afraid that the people will discover what they've been doing with fringe science, with all these theories. They've been trying to control God's kingdom by trying to understand how to recreate it. And that's exactly what happened in Atlantean times. They were even doing unethical experiments with consciousness and trying to put consciousness into kind of like Frankenstein. We watched Frankenstein last night after a failed bank heist. Yeah, to try to control the world's money and trying to control the world's wealth. A talking dog. One half of a husband and wife crime fighting duo. Hmm. Yeah, I was a talking dog. I was just gonna say that in Atlantean times they were also using the crystal power to transfer consciousness um into like animals they made. You know, like they would put different parts of animals and humans together and try to infuse life into them through the crystal power to create like talking animals and stuff. And they created a lot of abominations that didn't have the divine spark, because that's why Spirit's teaching us about the Holy Trinity. It's, you know, they have misinformed us that it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, but it's not. It's the Father and the Mother and the Holy Spirit. And that's why when we have a spirit team, it's a future, the past, present, a guardian angel, and you're the present. I'm sorry, past, future, you're the present, and you have a guardian angel. And that is representative of the masculine, the feminine, and the Holy Spirit. And it's all like connected. And so if you don't have a divine spark and you're trying to create it artificially, you're not going to get divine consciousness. You're going to get something else, and you're going to be creating copies of divine creator that are not actually a spark of divine creator. That's why a mother and a father come together, and the ritual that they do is sacred sex. It's a sacred ritual to open a portal for a holy divine spirit to have a human experience. And they do all kinds of things in the Atlantean times to try to recreate that, so they could control, you know, the outcome, so they could control the creation. So it could be like a walking, talking, you know, like mind controlled, whatever, you know, that's from the Atlantean time. So if that's being recreated, or something like it is being recreated, what are the things that they're, you know, inadvertently, you know, changing or doing that are causing, you know, darkness to come over? And so that's the question. Like, what are the other things that could be happening that could be a result of them doing this? I wish my cat could talk. Your cat can talk through thoughts. You gotta practice though, listening, finding out what the cat's frequency is. There used to be domesticated dogmen, clothed and articulated, not like werewolf dogmen of today. I'm very glad my cat cannot talk. I think all animals can talk, just not in the way that we talk to each other. They talk telepathically. I used to talk to Deja all the time. Every time she'd run away, because she used to go through this little hole in the fence, and not all the time, but every once in a while. And to get her back, I would close my eyes and I'd imagine her. I don't know if I was imagining her or seeing her, But it didn't matter. I would just imagine her running with her golden hair flowing in the wind and her mouth open and her tongue sticking out. And then she'd come. I opened my eyes and she'd be there. She came. She heard me. I've done that multiple times. Spirit just said global. The global elite, perhaps. So what else? What else, Spirit? Tell me, where should I go? So it says that the darkness is afraid because they discovered some kind of stain on something that tortures, that creates some kind of torture, or that's torturing them, or something that became hostile, or some kind of horror to gain control. What is this? Exacerbate, to make worse. It's unwise to take aspirin to try to relieve heartburn, since instead of providing relief, it will only exacerbate the problem, aggravate, annoy, intensify, irritate, provoke. Yeah, they definitely did something. They, just like in Atlantean times, they kept wanting more and more power, so they kept getting bigger and bigger with their crystals and their experiments, and it was making it worse. It was something that was aggravating them because they were trying to intensify their experiment for more control. So what is this? It was unwise of them to try to relive this heartburn, something that did not come from the heart. They're trying to find relief right now to the problem, to afflict, to destroy. The farmers feared that the night's frost would blight the potato crops entirely, damage, plague. Blight. They're in some kind of blight because there's something about them using CERN as some kind of aura farm, aura harvesting, aura farming. They're fearing there's something they do at night while people are sleeping. It may be something that's backfiring on them because they were using the machine to, they just, like my dream, something about switching consciousness or taking people's aura, some kind of aura farm, aura farming, aura gathering. Oh my, I just remembered supposedly there was a big accident a year ago there where there was something through they shut down. Spirit said Roger. Roger that. Roger that, lol. Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? Great food, no atmosphere. Parapet, peripatetic. Peripatetic, wandering from place to place, especially on foot. Elena's peripatetic meanderings took her all over the countryside in the summer months. Itinerant, nomadic, wayfaring. So there's some kind of consequence that they're going through for doing some kind of unethical experiment when it comes to trying to control energy. And they could have been using CERN at night. They realized they could, I don't know, use people's energy to propel the system or something. I'm not really sure, but something about farming at night. Farming aura at night. There's something that was unwise of them to do to try to relive this heartburn. Instead of providing their own relief, they exacerbated a problem, trying to fix something or trying to control something. They made something worse. They're trying to, there's some kind of plague or damage that was created. They could be wandering from place to place. I wonder if they were using it to astral project. You know, what if the what if CERN, what if they discovered that CERN could help you to, I don't know how to say it, to go outside of your body consciously without having to do all the hard work it takes to do that, because it takes a lot of practice to do that. So it was July. I love how it all comes back to the dark crystal. Yeah. I've been watching the new series of that. I really like it. It was July 7th, 2024 when they opened up soon and they blasted a hole in the atmosphere and opened it up for other entities which may not be so light to come through. This is my understanding. Jim Henson. Yes, we did a reading on Jim Henson. You should absolutely go check that out. It's very interesting, his experience. Yeah, absolutely. So there is something about, you know what? Let me do this. I can't believe they flagged me. I still love you, TikTok. It's fine. Okay. There we go. All right. What else? What time is it? We'll do our stair cards. Maybe we can get some kind of vision of what. So what is this wandering from place to place? Can you please elaborate on that, Spirit? So they were definitely trying to elephant. Elephant and two monkeys. Yeah. They were definitely trying to control things that they shouldn't. Look at this. They're definitely trying to make things work out in their favor. But they weren't illuminated. Notice how the lamp's not on. They weren't illuminated to something. Something they were trying to do. Trying to make something work. Very like DIY. I'm getting DIY with this. Very DIY, like not being able to see from a higher perspective what they were doing. So what, oh, that's too many. Let me see if I can get more. Elephant also reminds me of the government. The government trying to paint the roses red. Always obey the rules. Do not feed animals. Interesting. Yeah, look at this. The giraffe is the only one with a higher perspective. So that's going to be spirit looking down on all these circus clowns, all this circus people trying to obey. Look, it says always obey the rules. Do not feed animals. So it's like do as I say, not as I do, you know? Definitely breaking the rules and then telling us not to do them. It kind of reminds me of they're doing spiritual practices and doing all these ancient old rituals and stuff and trying to do the same thing they did back then, back in Atlantean times, but yet they tell us, don't meditate, don't do divination, don't talk to oracles or psychics, but that's what they do. That's what they do to do all these things, to learn all these things. That's what they do. So it's very similar. So they're messing around with things they don't understand instead of getting a higher perspective. So now they're not illuminated. They think they are because they do these like rituals and stuff, but that's not illumination. That's control. You're trying to control the outcome. You know what I just heard in the spirit? If they're trying to create the God particle, let me say this. You cannot replicate love and you cannot destroy it. Absolutely, Robin. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They're not doing this out of love. They're doing this out of control. Oh, always obey the rules, it says. Always obey the rules. don't feed the animals. So they're trying not to feed us, knowledge and information. They're trying to keep certain things they do from us, and but then at the same time telling us to obey the rules. So it's not fair. And there's definitely some kind of hiding of information. Absolutely. I didn't know the ice was so soft, but like Spirit said already, there's something that they didn't know. You know, you know, I love God, honestly, because you think that God didn't know this was going to happen. You think that God is just going to let you, you know, continue down this route. God gives you a million chances to do the right thing and lets you fall into your own trap. This is a energetic trap that they fell into. Absolutely, because they wanted to be fat cats. They wanted to, it's all about physical materialism for them, all about their ego, all about, women and sex and money and control. It's so masculine. It's like, imagine being so in your ego. Far, yeah, it's far from God. It's far from love. Imagine being so far in your ego that you would spend your money to try to control the world. Like, Pinky in the Brain energy over here. Okay? Pinky in the Brain. Another circus reference. Look, another elephant and two monkeys. Please stop tickling me. I'm not doing anything. I told you. Please stop tickling me. I'm not doing anything. I told you in my dream, the scientist was doing unethical experiments with consciousness, and they figured out a way to separate the consciousness from the human, and they would astral project themselves to people's energy to control them, to give them ideas, to give them intrusive thought. It says, please stop tickling me, I'm not doing anything. So to make people do things they would never do, to like, do their bidding, basically. It's wild. And I got this another circus reference as well. Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Yeah. Welcome to the greatest circus show on earth. God's like, are you happy now? You've created a freaking circus. You've created a circus. Now, are you happy? It's going to come back to you. It's coming back to them. Let's see how they are right now. What are they feeling right now? What is this? What are they scared of? Boy, what are they scared of? They celebrated too soon, They thought that they had everything under control, but the new earth energies and people coming online is like, no, you don't have control over anything. They're upset. They're being reprimanded by God. They're in some kind of chaos. Yearn to depart. They're going through a hard time right now. Because God told them, God said, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm telling you, don't do that. Told them over and over again, don't do that. You're going to regret the day you do that. And they didn't want to stop. Now they're freaking out. They're like, help me. Spirit said, yearn to depart. They're going through all the people who are associated with CERN, all the scientists, all the government officials, all of the people who thought it would be okay to just play with God's creation and be God. They're afraid because they're discovering that what they did was an absolute copy of what they did before, and just like before, it all fell apart. So what else? I can't make it up, you guys. I can't make it up. I cannot make it up, you guys. That is so funny. I cannot make it up. I can't make it up. So now they're sitting, pouting, and you're gonna start noticing. You're gonna start noticing a lot of our government and other countries' governments are gonna be falling apart. The people, these old ass, wrinkly people that should have been retired a long time ago, they don't have our best interest, and they've all are connected. It's all connected. These old ass people, I said, don't even know how to use technology. They don't even know how to use their own spiritual technology. Doing unethical ex- they've been doing unethical experiments with spiritual technology, okay? That they don't understand even how to do it. Now they have to sit back and watch it all fall apart. Okay? Because they were playing with things they don't understand. Instead of going within, and you want to understand the old ass wrinkly people that need to retire. Instead of going within and asking God, if you want the answers to the universe, if you want to know how to be in abundance, if you anything you want to know, God, anything. When you bring a tuna sandwich to lunch and none of your friends will let you sit with them. Yeah, they tried to isolate everybody else. They separated themselves from the whole collective, thinking that because they had this power that they could use it against us so they could control everything. Why? Why do you want to control everything? That's a wound. You need to heal that shit. It's time to heal. When you hear someone say, my friends and I are so crazy, we should have our own TV show, because they got too big for their britches. Unhealed people should not be in power. Just like Atlantean times. Unhealed people go into power by cheating, stealing, manipulating, and then we trust them to make decisions on our behalf when they're making decisions for themselves, not for us. Not for us. Do you believe that guy? He's like, yeah, I totally care about you. Yeah, I totally care about your well being. Everything we do is for the outcome of the good. Ugh. Spirit said, puke. God is not happy about this, okay? Okay, that conscious is aware of how bad they gaffes or just dealing with the machinery fallout and panic. Well, I don't know. Let's see. When you started flirting because you were bored and now you're buying a Christmas gift for his nana. Yeah, they were flirting with fringe science because they're bored, because they're rich and bored, and they feel like having this kind of power is control. But now they're so far into doing whatever they were doing with this technology that it's they're committed to it now. Now there's no going back. So I think the fallout is going to be spiritual, because it was unethical on so many levels, and they were trying to manipulate things that were never meant for them to manipulate. And they were controlling weather, they were creating natural disasters, they were controlling people's minds, they were spying on people, they were switching people's souls with each other, destiny swapping. Yeah, they're going to be sick. They're going to be coming down with all kinds of sicknesses, heart attacks. They're all going to be falling. They're falling. Their bodies are giving out on them. When your friend who's a screw up starts giving you life advice. Didn't I just say that? Our government, all the governments that teamed up to create this, that work together, that want to control people in this way, they're all unhealed. We can't possibly allow these people in power, Headstone Spirit said, in power to continue to give us life advice when their lives are falling apart, when they have no, connection to God. We shouldn't be allowing people in power who have no connection to God to have control over anything. We gotta say peace out to them, deuces. We gotta say deuces to them, okay? Or that's what they're saying. They know it's over, but they could not alter the Christ at heart with absolutely, and that's what they tried to do, and that's where they messed up. That's where they messed up. They tried to alter everyone's heart chakra for it to be disconnected, but you can't do that. There's too many of us now who are activating our heart chakras, and that's too strong now. So now it's going to go back on them. Lots of heart attacks. Lots of heart attacks. I think this is why the word says those that endure to the end will be saved. Absolutely. False idols. Yes, you guys. Reverberation of time, Spirit says. When you called shotgun, but the backseat ends up being way more lit. Yeah, they tried to call shotgun, but we're the ones in control now. We're the ones who are lit up in our heart chakras. They tried to control that. Why do you think all the music and all the movies now are so bland, and they don't come from a creative heart space? They come from the red root chakra of wanting to make money. That's why everything's so disconnected right now. They wanted us to be angry little children running around, yelling at each other, hating each other, not sharing with each other. That's what they wanted for us. They wanted us to always be, immobilized. They wanted us to not be able to go within. But now Spirit's like, well done, you guys. Spirit is like clapping for us because that didn't happen. They tried to make that happen, but that was never gonna happen. That was never gonna happen ever. And God's like, what are you thinking? When you walk into high school during Spirit Week with your face painted blue and see that nobody else dressed up. Yeah, now their faces are blue because we're going to be able to see them fall one by one. Anyone who is associated with with committing these unethical experiments because of unhealed wounds, we're going to see them dropping like flies. So let's see. Holy Divine Spirit, are you saying that CERN was unethically used for immoral experiments? Yes. Those are so weird. Okay. Is CERN used for unethical experiments?
Ranch.
Yes. Ranch. Is CERN used for aura harvesting? Yes. Did they discover how to separate the consciousness from the body at CERN? Yes. Do the elite and the cabal power CERN through money to continue these experiments? Yes. Are the scientists at I don't want to think that all the scientists, but are some of the scientists at CERN doing unethical experiments? Yes. Are they abusing technology by these experiments? Yes. Are the people that are involved with these experiments going to suffer the consequences? Yes. Okay. They can't manipulate love but seek to create order and chaos. Absolutely. Hooray for the chosen ones, holding strong in your heart, do no harm. Yeah! Yay! I think this is why the word says, oh yeah, I read that already. Well, that was fascinating. Thank you guys so much for being with me. I did get a flag, but I have to take responsibility for that because I have Spirit gave me many warnings about my verbiage, so I'm going to be mindful of that moving forward so I don't get any more strikes. So thank you so much for being with me. I love you so much. I hope you have a great Sunday, and let's go out into the world and be kind to each other and make sure that we're finding joy, and make sure that no matter what we're going through, we're not blaming people or being reactive to people, that we're controlling our anger and we're trying to understand where it comes from so we can heal. Okay, we love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next weekend. Bye guys.
Jennifer.